comes up next, of course, the CEO of the Third Global Group. I've chatted to him many times on my talk show on SFM talking entrepreneurship. To the point, your book, what's it all about? Surviving the avalanche.
So the laws of extreme business success.
Okay, well, you're going to tell us here, but certainly enough for me to endorse the book public, and I think we need to get that book on the outside as well. But again, on that issue of scalability, I think some great insights will come through from God right away. Well, good seeing you again.
Okay, I think we should all just stand up very quickly. Stand up and clap your hands. You can sit back down. You see what happens whenever a Kiwi comes to South Africa? People know that you're a winner and they clap their hands. Trevor was just talking about relationship problems in business. I have a few relationship problems of my own in business. I've just got married. But apart from that, and I have a wonderful wife, and I'm actually going to talk about her in a few minutes' time. So follow along with me because I want to share with you this concept of maximizing contribution and maximizing return. You know that today, no longer is our freedom a matter of our time. Freedom now is a matter of wealth. Whether or not at 65 or at 70 or at 80 you're still working isn't to do with your age. It's to do with your ability to create the wealth you need to live the life that you want to live. And at the end of the day, we're in business because we want to create wealth, right? Sorry, I can't quite hear that. I can leave now. Yes. Okay, cool. So the question is, what do you do with your time? Do you realize that your time is the only limited resource you have in your business today? Every other resource there's more of. There's more money, there's more training, there are more people, but there's not more of you. And most specifically, there's not more of your time. We all have a limited capacity to work in our organizations. So what do we do with that time? You know, 85% of our employees hate their jobs. Those of you who are laughing are probably employed by someone else. But just think about that for a moment. 85% of our employees hate their jobs. Yes. As business owners, probably a similar number of us hate our own job. And it's because we spend... this is going along too far. It's because we're spending so much time on the jobs in our businesses where we're wasting our time, where we don't add value, where we're doing things that don't use our natural talents, that don't leverage our skill and leverage our ability. And so you might think, well, Carl, I understand this, and I understand the theory. I get what you're saying. I get that I need to be working in the right role within my organization. The question is, are you applying the practice? Are you understanding within your own business where you create the most value? If you imagine your team, your business, as the crew on this yacht, are you all in the right role? Are you all doing what you do to add the most value to the team? Are you playing the role within your business where you add the most value? Or is it highly likely that not only your yacht isn't going to cross the finish line, but it's possibly likely going to sink along the way? How many of your board team, your directors, are the right people for those roles? How many of your managers are playing the right role within the organization? And indeed, how many of your team are adding the most value within your organization? And so we talk about understanding the underlying natural energy of your team members. Some of our team are this activating energy up here in the red. People who are drivers, are people who get things going, are people who are great to get things started. Some of our team members are this inspiring energy. They're people focused. Some of our team members are more grounded. It's more about the reality of what's going on. And some of our team members are data-based. or analytical. Now this, surprisingly enough, isn't about your profession. And it's not about their profession either. I'm a chartered accountant. Now I know you wouldn't have guessed that. I don't look like an accountant, do I? I don't have enough grey hairs to be an accountant just yet. I know I've got the glasses, but you know, sort of hopefully not fitting in the accounting frame. But you know, I am actually a chartered accountant. But I don't spend my time as a chartered accountant within our team, because that's not where I add value. Despite the fact that I could do your books, I could do your tax, I could solve your forecast cash flow problem, you know, for this guy with the restaurant over here if you really need. That doesn't inspire me. There are things within our business where I add the most value by understanding my underlying natural energy. My question for you is, do you understand yours? So I'm going to share with you, very quickly, 8 different types of profiles. 8 people who make up the full range of anyone that you could employ. And I'm going to challenge you to think about how much of your time is being put into the areas of your business where you add the most value. And how many of your team members are used to their best effect because you're aligning their role with their natural energy. I'm not saying that skill and ability isn't important. Some jobs, you've got to have the underlying skills to do the job. But skills can be taught. That underlying natural energy is what you're born with. It's inherent to you. And it's the way you step up to the plate. So some of you will be, and if this is going to work with me nicely, some of you will be what we call a catalyst. You're all about accelerating change. You're a driver in your business. You're that person who'll go out and you'll get something going. You're innovative. You've got the business started. But when it comes to the next stage, trying to build relationships with clients and grow the sales, you're a little bit challenged. A little bit like my rugby team play, right? You know, the New Zealand All Blacks, the almighty All Blacks. You know when they play rugby, I know when you watch your team, this might be a little bit more difficult to imagine, but my team, they pass the ball. They actually pass the ball at the right time, right? They pass the ball in critical moments because they know that in order to win, they have to pass the ball. Do you know who you should be passing the ball to on your team? See, a catalyst is great at getting things going. They're also great at upsetting people. Catalysts believe, no they do, I promise you. My mum's a catalyst, she upsets me all the time. But catalysts are people who think that upsetting people is just collateral damage. It is part of the process. Champions have this activating, innovative energy, but they also have a people energy. These are the people who, once you've come up with a great idea, should be the ones to take it to the market, should be the ones to drive it through adding their credibility, waving the flag. Do you know who your catalysts and your champions are on your team? From champion, we move around to the coach. Your coach is your inspiration person. They're all about igniting greatness. These are the people on your team who you should be using to drive team connectedness, to drive accountability. These are the best managers within your team. These are the best salespeople, the best recruiters, the best connectors, the best networkers. If you don't have these sorts of people in your sales team and you're wondering why you're not achieving the sales results you otherwise should, you're going to have a problem. From the coach, we move around to the connector. The connector is all about building bridges, all about understanding that touch of reality, but also understanding people. And they have the ability to build your network, to create and engage with your stakeholders. These are the peacemakers within your organization. You know when you know you've got a connector in your business? They don't like conflict. So whenever you say you've got to do this and they don't really agree, they might just agree with you anyway. So this isn't also just about understanding people's upsides. It's also about understanding their challenges so that you can improve their challenges in order for them to create more of a contribution for you and your organization. As we move from the connector, we move down one to the custodian. Custodians are people like my wife. She is a veterinarian. She's a brilliant vet. Don't ask her to go and start the practice. Don't ask her to go and find clients for the practice she works in. But give her your practice to look after for a couple of weeks. She's a locum, so she goes in, looks after it for a couple of weeks. She will what we call honour the promise. She will make sure that business is better than it was, or the same as it was the day she took it over. These are your COOs. These are the people who you give the business to once you've got it. You know the problem with us as entrepreneurs is we go out and we get the business. We're great at selling the story, but we think we're good at delivering it as well. You know, my team in Cape Town and here in Joburg, they say to me, they say, Carl, go out and have the conversations, but when you've brought back the contract, please leave it to us. If you don't know who these people are on your team, you're going to have the same problem. And you won't achieve a thing we call extreme business success. So from the custodian, we move to the cultivator. Cultivators are great project managers. They're great at understanding the data, but they also understand timing. These are actually people like Warren Buffett. Did you know that by understanding your natural energy, by understanding your profile, you'll understand which great entrepreneur you should follow? Because if you read Bill Gates' book, he says start a business. If you read Warren Buffett's book, he says don't start a business. He says just buy other people's. And as an entrepreneur, you just get confused. So the trick is to understand your natural energy so you can understand who you can follow. Cultivators are people like Warren Buffett, as I say. From Warren Buffett, we move around to what we call the conductor. A conductor is someone who, unlike the coach, who focuses on the people, the conductor focuses on the data, the analysis, the information. A coach leads a business through great people, through inspiring people. A conductor leads a business through the information, through the analysis, through the data. And you need a good coach and you need a good conductor on your team. Conductors are like your product or service managers, they're your production managers, they're your quality managers. They are the people who make it tick. Your finance team. You need a conductor in your finance team. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. From there, we move to the calibrator. The calibrator is the last of all of the profiles. The calibrator is someone like Ray Kroc from McDonald's. Imagine if McDonald's was called Crocs and we were going to Crocs for dinner. It just doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? The McDonald's brothers were catalysts. They got it going. But it was Ray Kroc, the calibrator, who actually created the system. Are you a calibrator or you're a catalyst? The different profiles have different games that you should play. And unless you understand the game you should play, it'd be a little bit like Bafana playing the All Blacks. They wouldn't know what to do. I suppose that wouldn't be much of a change anyway. But the point is you need to know the game you're playing, right? So let me tell you. My book, The Laws of Extreme Business Success, shares with you what we call the law of effective teams. It's all about understanding how to build a great team in order for you to achieve this thing we call extreme business success. And if you want to have a read of this and understand the background to the Contribution Compass, we've got some books outside there at our stand. But if you want to actually complete your profile, if you want to understand what your game is, if you want to understand how to maximize the one thing that is limited in your business, and that is your time, then you can come over and see us during the lunch break, and you'll have an opportunity to chat to us about completing your profile. The 995 Rand, including that, and if you come and visit our stand, you'll be able to complete them today. Otherwise, you can send us an email at carlbates.com. We've got an opportunity for a couple of questions, but make sure if you want to do your profile today, you simply walk out that door, straight across the other side, and have a chat to Kelly, Pamela, or myself, and let's help you use the one thing that is limited in order to create something that we call extreme business success. Thanks very much.